you drive. Do you know I'm looking? Can we stay here forever? Welcome to the Animal Lovers Cafe. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. The animals are all here. You may have seen Luna as she's just kind of off here in the office, walking around the office of the Animal Lovers Cafe. All the animals are here greeting you, so excited that you are here today in this moment. I hope you've invited your own animals to join you too. So pull up a chair, grab a table. Oh, hi, Lala. So nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What are you doing at this hour? It's past your bedtime. So I'm just happy that everybody's here greeting the animals. I'm sorry. Of course, greeting the animals, but the animals are greeting you too. They are just absolutely excited that you're here, and we have a special topic today. Every time we go live, of course, we have a special topic. It's about animals, but it's about us too and our relationships with animals. So welcome everybody. And do you know that animals feel emotions? So maybe you do, maybe you don't, but think about it. Animals do feel emotions, but put yes or no in the comments if that's something new to you, or absolutely have no doubt in your mind that animals feel and have emotions, because there are humans out there that think that they do not. We'll talk about that. And are you aware that animals have deep bonds with each other as well as humans? Very deep bonds. So we'll be talking about that right here in just a little bit. But first, I want to welcome all of the new people. If you are new to the Animal Lovers Cafe, please write new in the comments so I can welcome you personally, and that the other members of the cafe can greet you and say hello. This is just a really fun little group here. And so Lala is so sweet. You're still awake and scrapbooking. Ooh, that sounds really fun. I love doing that. So thank you for being with us. And for other people that are new in this group, if you don't know me, my name is Janet Dobbs of Animal Paradise Communication and Healing, where my greatest joy is to help you discover your unique way of receiving telepathic communication from animals, as well as, did you know that you have the ability to heal yourself and others? Well, that too is one of my greatest joys. So I want to welcome you, and it's just nice to get to know you if you're new. And if you're not new, I'm welcoming you too, because you know how much I love you, and this is just such a great group. And Lala is here in our group. It's like, I'm just so honored that you're here, Lala. So you're listening and watching. And so we have a global community here in the Animal Lovers Cafe. And I just really appreciate those of you that are in other time zones, especially the ones that are 12 hours apart from here. So when it's daytime here, it's nighttime there. So thank you so much for being here. And the topic, as I mentioned, it's a really important topic. It's about the deep bonds that I was trying to say humans and animals at the same time. That didn't work out so good. The deep bonds that animals can have with each other and also with humans, and how that it can affect them, their emotions, their behavior. Sometimes we humans don't realize that the reason an animal is acting a certain way, similar for the reasons that we humans act a certain way. We have an emotional issue going on. So what do you do? Well, we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But, just thinking about deep-seated emotional things that happen, lots of times what happens when we humans have some kind of an emotional thing going on. And it's usually a negative emotion that will get us to some kind of help, a counselor or a medical professional well, counselors are medical professionals, but I mean like the psychiatrists, the psychologists, and the counselors. And or sometimes we can just talk to a friend, right? And just talk our stuff out. But we don't often know that something's going on with an animal. So how can they talk their stuff out? Because we know it's not healthy if you stuff something, right? And they have issues. They have things that happen to them in their lives that we don't even think about. We take them for granted. So in that case, we can listen to our animals or other people's animals, or bring an animal communicator into the picture and have them, listen and share with you what's going on with the animal. So that's something that can happen. So there's some things that you can do to help prevent, emotional issues from happening, behavior issues, physical issues that are the result of an emotional issue that, like we do, or children act out, when something isn't going their way or something has happened. The same thing with animals. So what am I talking about? We can have a conversation with an animal before something happens, because a lot of times we just don't even think to consider their feelings, their thoughts, why, we go about our busy day. So I'm going to give an example, two examples. They're very similar. One is like, let's say you're going on a vacation. Animals get upset when we leave them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. They depend on us. They're attached to us. We make their lives as they make our lives, right? So if you're going on vacation and they see, you're packing, they're like, uh-oh. If this isn't the first time you've gone on vacation, oh, something's happening. They're going to leave me. So one of the most important things that you can do to reassure your animal, whether it's one that lives in your home with you, dog, cat, bird, mouse, whatever, or it's an animal that doesn't live inside. So like a horse, donkeys, pigs, cows, somebody that you're close to, right? Let them know, all of them. Let them know you're going away. Tell them that is for a good reason, or maybe it's not a good reason. Maybe it's a reason that, you're going to a funeral, so it's a sad reason, but usually a vacation, is a really happy reason. Let them know exactly how long you're going to be gone. Let them know, like if you're going to take them someplace to board them, or you have somebody coming in your home, let them know exactly what's happening. Let them know how long you're going to be gone, and let them know, most important part is you will be back, and let them know when you will be back. And then this is like a whole other topic, but you can give them jobs and things to do to keep them busy to pass the time until you two, you three, you four, however the whole family is reunited with them. And by doing this, you can actually stop bad behavior and help them. They worry. One of the biggest concerns of animal companions is that you will not return. So always reassuring them that you're going to be back and make it happy. Don't make anything sad. So that's one of the things that is important to have a conversation with your animals about. Include them in the conversation as you're getting ready for your vacation. Here's another one. You're moving to a new location. You're moving. Okay, let's just say moving. You don't tell your animal companion. And all of a sudden, you're packing the whole house. Whoa, their whole world is being torn upside down. And they can totally freak out. They can have an emotional break. So let them know you're going to a new location. This is when you're taking them with you. It's going to be exciting, or maybe it's not a good move, but just be honest with them. Let them know, but assure them that they're coming with you, or assure them that this is what's going to happen with them, and it's really going to help a lot. I learned the hard way about moving and emotions. We had a kitty named Cleo, and we were moving from where we lived to where we lived at the time to where we live now. And we thought we had a long time to pack, and we got a call, and it was like, you have to be out in less than 12 hours. And we're like, what? So we didn't think about Cleo, didn't even know that kitties, they don't even like one thing in their environment moved, let alone a whole household inside and out. So we didn't think anything about it. She was an indoor-outdoor kitty, and she had a breakdown. She snapped. and she disappeared. And she literally, we thought maybe the movers took her. We couldn't find her. And yeah, it took us almost 2 months to get her back. We were reunited, but she was never the same. But she never wanted to go. She was indoor outdoor, and after that, she never wanted to go outside again. So just so you know, just be aware and communicate with your animals. Like if you're moving, that's a major life-changing kind of event. It's a big event in your life. It's emotional for you, but it's emotional for your dogs, cats, horses, whoever. Also, another thing that can affect their behavior and emotions, a new baby coming into the family. So let them know what's going on. Include them, because one thing that happens quite often is, let's say you have a dog or a cat, the baby takes up all of your time and you don't pay any attention to the dog or cat. You barely have time to feed them, right? Because taking care of a baby, a newborn especially, takes up a lot of time and energy. But include the dog, the cat. This is your baby. And, find ways that are comfortable with you for including them. Don't exclude them. I know of a lot of animals that end up in shelters because the baby came in. I'm sorry, the animal was there first. Really? A baby's important, of course, as a human baby, but so is your fur baby, right? So finding a way to communicate with them, the animals, what's going on. A new baby's coming in, and make it a really happy thing and include them. And the outcome is just so special. It's really amazing. Another thing is, as far as being able to communicate with them that can cause behavioral issues, is if you decide you have one dog, one cat, one horse, one whatever, and you decide you're going to get them a friend because you feel like they're really lonely. You need to include them in this decision. Who is coming into the home? Do they like them? Do they get along with them? If you include them, let's pretend it's a dog and you're getting another dog for them. If you include them when you're looking for a new companion for them, it's going to be a better outcome. Because how would you like it if all of a sudden some human got plopped into your home and they're going to live with you for the rest of your life? You don't know them, you don't like them, and you're never going to like them, right? Behavior issues, major life-disrupting issues. Same thing can happen with an animal. And also, ask the animal that you're inviting into your home, tell them all about your home and what it's going to be like, and say, hey, does this sound like a great place for you to live the rest of your life? It may be a no, but it may be a yes. And when you get the yes from everybody, you're going to have a much better situation when it comes to integrating, the dog, the animals into your home. So just keeping that communication open can help with emotional issues that can lead to serious behavior issues that it's just so much better not to have to deal with. Yeah. So think about that. It's like anything coming up for you, any thoughts about your past. Don't beat yourself up, but just kind of go like, oh, wish I had known about this before this happened. Or maybe that's the reason that my animals acted this way, because they were having some kind of an emotional kind of something going on causing their behavior, or a physical issue, right? So just kind of take a moment, take that in. Don't beat yourself up. We do the best we can, and we learn. That's what life's all about. We learn, and we do our best to get better. So again, just talking about what the heck am I talking about? Behavior issues. Sometimes, we have animals that maybe they're very destructive. Maybe they become aggressive. Maybe they become the opposite and they just hide under the bed or hide someplace. They become antisocial and they were very social. Those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. They could all of a sudden be aggressive and they weren't before. There's always a reason. There's always something going on. So I just want to share some stories that I just have there's millions of stories out there, but there's one that really I love sharing, and it was about a donkey and a goat, right? So there was a donkey and a goat. This is a true story because there's a link in the description where you can actually see a little video of this happening. So there was this goat that was rescued from a horrible hoarding situation, right? And the goat's name was Mr. G. Mr. G the goat. And Mr. G the goat was rescued by this wonderful sanctuary, animal sanctuary. And when he got there, he wouldn't eat. A week went by, he wouldn't eat. He wouldn't come outside. And they didn't understand why. What's going on? And they tried everything to get this goat to eat. And then they discovered, after a week of not eating, that Mr. G had a best friend, a donkey, named Jellybean. And they were somehow able to get Jellybean to come to their sanctuary. So as soon as Jellybean arrived, Mr. G perked up for the first time, came outside and greeted his friend like, the music should have been playing. It was so amazing, them coming together. And when they came together, and you can see it in the video, you can feel it. It's like, oh my God, my best friend, you're alive, you're okay. And then Mr. G started eating out of the same little bucket as Jellybean, and everything was fine. So what was going on? Mr. G was grieving the loss of his best friend, his lifelong friend. Whatever they had gone through together, they went through it together, through thick and thin. And then they were separated. Nobody asked them. Nobody talked to them. They just did the best. The humans did the best they could. But thank goodness somebody listened and they brought them together. But that's the deep bond that they can have with each other. And it's so important to pay attention to this. Just like us, like we have friends and we have relatives and we have family or that we love more than anything. And to be separated from them for whatever reason can destroy us emotionally. We grieve. And that same thing with animals. They can grieve. So I highly recommend that you click on the link and it'll take you to a blog post of mine. You can read it, you don't have to, but just scroll down until you see a video and then just click on it and watch it. It's really simple, it's really short, and it's so beautiful. You know the stories of the animals, but this is proof that they have deep emotions and deep bonds. So we need to really be aware and pay attention to that. Honor it, savor it. It's just so beautiful life, and we're all connected to each other. It's not just we humans that have these feelings and emotions and the ability to love. That's what it's all about. Unconditional love, love for each other. Isn't that beautiful? I think that's just so amazing. So we can learn from animals, right? And other thing that I learned about communication and the deep bond between animals and humans, but animals and each other. I never had a horse of my own. I always dreamed of having a horse, but I have this deep connection to them. And I started learning the stories that the horses, have babies. This is kind of how life keeps going. You have babies, right? So the horses have babies. And at a certain time, the humans decide it's time to separate, wean, separate, whatever. They literally separate the babies from the mothers. And evidently, so I was being told this story, the babies are all put into this trailer and the mothers are still in their field and the babies are crying for their, oh my God, the babies are crying for their mommies and the mommies are calling out for their babies and the babies are being driven away and they're calling out to their mommies and the mommies are running the fence line, as far as they can, just like, bring my baby back, right? Where are you? Take my baby away from me, right? And just their cries are just heart-wrenching because they have feelings just like we do. And if they had just told the mothers and the babies, like, we're going to send the babies here at this time, please, take your time and say goodbye. And they're going to be fine. They're going to this place, and you're going to stay here, and you're going to be safe here, but your babies are going to go here. And just at least give them time to say goodbye to each other. I mean, can you imagine? Okay, I'm emotional because I know what that feels like, to be, well, in this case, the mothers did not abandon their babies. They wanted their babies. So one of the biggest things that I hear from when I was communicating with, professionally, especially from horses, but other animals too, but it's really big with the horses, they didn't get to say goodbye to their mommies. They were just taken. And so if we could just, one little thing, let them know and take your time to say goodbye. The same thing happens, horses are bought and sold. That's just the way it is, evidently. Some of them have the privilege of being able to stay in one place, the place they were born, or the place that they were first, bought, however that works. And they get to live their whole life there. But for the most part, horses are bought and sold. And they don't get to say goodbye to their best friends, like Jellybean and Mr. P. They were best friends. So they don't know what's happening. Where's my friend going? My friend's gone. Or you're taken, or they're the ones that are taken and they're moved, but they miss their friend. And it can cause deep grief and deep behavior issues that the human doesn't understand what the heck is going on. But if there had just been a little bit of communication, a little bit of compassion, and giving them a chance to say goodbye to each other, it really saves, it can change everything. There's a pretty famous story about this black panther who was rescued from a bad situation in a zoo. And he secluded himself in the rescue that he was taken to. He was kind of aggressive, like, stay away from me. And one of the things, there were several things that was going on. He had the wrong name. That changed him when his name was changed. But he had lived next in a cage right next to him were two baby tigers. And he just kind of was like the elder, kind of watching over them, even though they had bars between them. And he just was really connected with these baby tigers as they were growing up. There was a deep bond. And when he was taken, they weren't allowed to say goodbye. They weren't, and they didn't know what happened to each other. So the people at the rescue and the animal communicator were able to tell this black panther that the babies are fine. They are living in this kind of a location. They gave them a picture, a description. And once the black panther knew that his friends were safe, his whole demeanor changed. Okay, yeah, they changed his name too. But his whole demeanor changed. Everything about him. It was kind of like he was given a new life, and he came out of his shell. And so just communicating in that way, especially when there's a deep bond, we don't even think about it as humans sometimes, but it can make all the difference in the world, giving them time to say goodbye to each other. It's so important. And a lot of people don't realize animals grieve just like us. You've probably seen the movies, this movie since I was a little girl about, animals and their attachments, their relationships with humans. And we know so many stories about when the human dies. The dog, they're often dogs, but it's other animals too. They don't leave the person's side, or when if there's a grave, the dog goes in every day and lies on the grave and never can't leave because they're grieving. We experienced the grieving of an animal when Sammy and Katie, when Sammy died and Katie was left behind. We all grieved, and she grieved with us. The thing is, it was kind of funny with her being a kitty. After about a month, she was like, okay, we're done. You guys have to stop crying. it's time to live life. We're moving on. But just know that they have deep, deep bonds, deep connections with each other. Like ducks mate for life. And I know of a duck pair. And the female was killed. And the male kept going to the same place over and over again, just looking for his mate with, a sad, mournful song, because that was his soul, literally, his soulmate. So they have deep bonds, deep connections. We need to honor them. We need to respect them and just try to help them through their issues, their stuff. And you can have like an animal that's behaving in a certain way can totally change just by listening. And sometimes it's hard to listen to their stories. That was what I did for a living, listening to stories that were hard to listen to. Think about, counselors and professional human professionals. They listen to our stuff, right? And it might be really hard to listen to, but sometimes, very often, when we listen to the animal and let them just share their stuff, they can release it. And a healing can take place. And they're like, oh, okay. And it's like they're a different being. It's just amazing. So just know that those are possibilities. Yeah. So animals have deep bonds with each other. They have deep emotions. We need to honor them. Be excited and happy and celebrate them, right? That they're whole beings, just like us. And they're here in this life to walk with us, to make our lives better. But we too can make their lives better, right? Together, we learn with each other and from each other. They bring us great joy, and it's returned. We bring them great joy too. So it's just, I don't know. I can go on, and I won't. I won't about that. But the last thing I just want to say is animals have the ability to form deep friendships, right? And they feel deep emotions just like us. So just sit with that, feel that, be aware. The wild ones too, not just our domestic animals, but all beings, humans and animals. They may feel and experience their lives in different ways because they have different bodies, but they all feel deeply. It's very exciting. So I want to thank you so much. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to write in the comments, or you can message me directly. And, but it'd be really nice, just write in the comments and we can keep the conversation going, because this is such an important topic. And I look forward to hearing all about your animal companions and your experience with them. I mean, life is so good. It's such a privilege to be able to share life with them. And I just want to thank you. I want to celebrate you. I want to celebrate the animals. And I will see you in the cafe. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for being with me. And before I go, there's little Luna. She's like, okay, you've got it right. She's taking a nap in the window of the cafe. So have the best day, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you soon. Remember, always have fun with your animals.